So what are the types of errors? Error of omission, error of commission, compensating error, error of principal. So there are various types of errors. Now what is a journal entry? Now we shall record this transaction. So what is a journal entry? Now how much will be the amount? That is 4,000 minus 400. Since they have recorded more than the actual amount, so we have to minus that 100. So we have to record the inverse entry. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the fifth session of the chapter Trial Balance and Rectification of Errors. So this is your sixth chapter from your first PUC syllabus, that is from part A. I am Harshita, lecturer, Department of Commerce, Vidhyaashram PU College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. My dear students, we were discussing about trial balance and rectification of errors. So in our previous session, we had learned what is the meaning of trial balance and what is rectification of errors, and we had solved problems relating to trial balance as well as rectification of errors. So what do you mean by trial balance? So it is a statement which contains debit balance and credit balance, which is prepared in order to check the accuracy of accounts. So if the total of debit balance is equal to total of credit balance, it means that so our accounts, what the accounts we have prepared is correct. Then what is rectification of errors? So we know or everyone make mistakes while preparing accounts, right? So in order to correct those mistakes, we are going to prepare one more journal entry which is known as a rectifying entry. So what is rectification of errors? Correcting those mistakes or correcting those errors is known as rectification of errors. So in accountancy, you are not going to erase those mistakes. Instead, you will write one more journal entry so that your wrong entry will be corrected. Now, let us go through a problem and shall see how we are going to solve this problem, how we are going to rectify the errors. Now, we shall go through a problem. So, here they have given rectify the following errors. So, they have made certain mistakes in this transaction and they are asking us to correct those mistakes. So, how to correct the mistakes? So, they have already made some mistakes. So, we have to prepare or we have to write one more journal entry in order to correct those mistakes or errors. Now, go through the first transaction, that is credit sales to Shiva rupees 11,000 were not recorded. Here what they have done, they have sold goods to Shiva on credit basis, but they have not recorded that transaction. So what type of error it is? So in our previous session, we had already discussed about types of errors. So what are the types of errors? Error of omission, error of commission, compensating error, error of principal. So there are various types of errors, right? Now they have not recorded. So what type of error it is? It is error of omission. Error of omission. Now what is error of omission? If any transaction I have left out to record, so those transactions are called as, or those type of errors are called as what? Error of omission. Now they have not recorded this transaction. Now we shall record this transaction and we shall rectify the error. So how to write the transaction? So what is the entry for this transaction? Credit sales to Shiva. So you know the journal entry. So Shiva's account debit to sales account, because Shiva is receiving that goods, and what goes out of the business? Goods goes out of the business. So who is receiving that goods? Shiva receives that goods. So his account has to be debited. So Shiva's account debit to sales account, because goods goes out of the business. So we are recording it as to sales account, and what is the amount? 11,000. Now, how to record this transaction? Now, we shall prepare the rectifying entries. So, what do you mean by rectifying entries? So, the journal entry in order to correct the error. So, that entry, journal entry in order to correct the error is known as what? Rectifying entry. Now, we shall record the first transaction. So, the transaction is, so the entry is Shiva's account debit to sales account 11,000. So, journal entry is Shiva's account debit to sales account, and what is the amount? 11,000 each. So 11,000 in the debit side and 11,000 in the credit side. Now how to write the narration? being credit sales to Shiva, not recorded, comma, now recorded. So, what does it mean? They have not recorded this transaction. Now we have recorded that transaction. So, this is error of omission. In the sense, they have left out to record and now we have corrected it by recording the transaction. Now, moving on to the next transaction, that is credit purchases from Arjun, rupees 14,000 were not recorded. So, this is also error of omission because they have left out to record that transaction. So, they have or credit purchase from Arjun. They have purchased goods from Arjun on credit basis, but they have not recorded to, or they have forget to record this transaction. Now, what is the journal entry? Now, we shall record this transaction. So, what is the journal entry? Credit purchase from Arjun. So, your journal entry will be purchasers account debit to Arjun's account, and what is the amount? 14,000. So, second one, purchasers account debit to Arjun's account. So, your narration will be being credit purchase from Arjun now recorded. So, what is the amount? Amount is 14,000 in the debit side and 14,000 in the credit side. So, they have forgot to record the transaction. Now, we have recorded and we have rectified that transaction. Now, moving on to the third one, it is goods returned to Anjali, rupees 2,500 were not recorded. So, this is also type of error. What type of error it is? It is error of omission. So, what is the transaction? Goods returned to Anjali. So, what is the journal entry? So, Anjali's account debit to purchase returns account. So, we might have purchased goods from Anjali earlier. Now, we have returned it back to Anjali. So, what does it mean? It's nothing but purchase return. Now, who is receiving that goods? Anjali is receiving that goods, so her account has to be debited. So, Anjali's account debit to purchase returns account, how much? 2,500. So, the third one is Anjali's account debit to purchase returns account. Being goods returned to Anjali now recorded. And what is the amount? That is 2,500. So, 2,500 in the debit side and 2,500 in the credit side. Now, moving on to the next one, that is fourth one, goods returned from Arati, rupees 4,200 were not recorded. Here also, it is error of omission because they have not recorded this transaction. Goods returned from Arati. So, what does it mean? So, it means that we have already sold goods to Arati. Now, she has returned it back. Right? So, what is it? It is sales return. So, what would be our journal entry? Sales return account debit to, from whom we have returned those goods? From Arati. So, sales returns account debit to Arati's account. So, what is the amount? 4,200. Now, we shall record this transaction. Fourth one, that is sales returns account debit to, now from whom we have returned that goods, that is from Arati. So, to Arati's account. Now write the narration. Being goods returned from Arati now recorded. Yes, so what is the amount? That is 4,200 in the debit side and 4,200 in the credit side. So this is how we are going to solve the problem. So this problem was relating to error of omission where they have not recorded the transaction, and we have rectified these errors by recording the transaction. Now we shall move on to one more problem. So they have given rectify the following errors, and my dear students, this is an important 6 marks question. So they will give certain transaction where they have made certain mistakes and we have to correct those transactions. Yes, go through the transaction. First transaction here in this problem, that is credit sales to Chetan rupees 10,000 were recorded as rupees 1,000. Now what type of error it is? So actual amount is 10,000, that is rupees 10,000, but what they have done, they have wrongly entered in the book. How much they have recorded? They have recorded only 1,000. So they should have been recorded rupees 10,000, but instead of rupees 10,000, they have recorded 1,000 rupees. So what type of error it is? So it is error of commission. Error of commission. So this is error of commission. So instead of recording 10,000, so they have wrongly recorded it as rupees 1,000. Now how to rectify this error? So here in our previous problem, they have not recorded and we have recorded that transaction, which is nothing but error of omission. Here they have recorded the transaction, but they have recorded the entry correctly, but they have recorded the amount wrong, right? Instead of 10,000, they have recorded it as 1,000. Now, how to rectify this errors? So, your journal entry will be proper journal entry, but the amount will be the difference amount. Here, what is the difference amount? 10,000 minus 1,000, so you'll get 9,000. So, difference amount rupees 9,000 will be the difference amount which has to be recorded in your rectifying entries. Now, what is the journal entry? Credit sales to Chetan. So, your journal entry will be Chetan's account debit to sales account, right? So, this is the journal entry and your amount will be rupees 1,000. That is difference amount, 10,000 minus 1,000. So, you will write 9,000. Now, we shall record this transaction. So, we shall record the rectifying entry. In the sense, the mistakes what they have made, we shall correct those mistakes now. So, the first one is, and your format will be same for rectifying entry, same as journal. So, you will be having date, particulars, ledger folio, debit rupees and credit rupees. Now, what is the journal entry for the first transaction? That is Chetan's account debit to sales account and the amount is 9,000. So, first journal entry is Chetan's account debit to sales account, being credit sales to Chetan rupees 10,000 recorded as rupees 1,000, now rectified. Now rectified. So now what is the amount you have to record? So actual amount is rupees 10,000, but how much they have recorded? It is 1,000. So the difference amount you have to record, that is 9,000 each. So 9,000 in the debit side and 9,000 in the credit side. Now moving on to the next transaction, that is second one, credit purchase from Charan rupees 6,000 were recorded as rupees 600. Here also they should have recorded 6,000, but how much they have recorded? They have recorded only 600. So this is also error of commission. Now, what is the correct journal entry? So credits purchase from Charan. So purchases account debit to Charan's account. Now what would be your rectifying amount, or in your rectifying entries, how much amount you will write? That is 6,000 minus 600. 6,000 minus 600, you will get 5,400. So this would be your amount, because they have already recorded 600. So how much yet to record? That is 5,400. So your journal entry will be purchases account debit to Charan's account 5,400. So second one, purchases account debit to Charan's account. So what is the amount? 5,400 in the debit side and 5,400 in the credit side. Now how to write the narration? Being credit purchase from Charan, rupees 6,000 were recorded as 600, now rectified. Being credit purchase from Charan, rupees 6,000 were recorded as rupees 600, now rectified. Now, how did you get 5,400? It is 6,000 minus 600, that is difference amount, that is 5,400. Now moving on to the third transaction, goods returned to Chaya, rupees 2,000 were recorded as rupees 200. So they should have recorded rupees 2,000, but how much they have recorded? They have recorded only 200. So what type of error it is? It is error of commission, right? Now what is the journal entry for this transaction? Goods returned to Chaya, right? So we had already purchased goods from Chaya, now we have returned it back. So what is the journal entry? Chaya's account debit to purchase returns account. And what is the amount? So we'll write the difference amount, 2,000 minus 200, that is 1,800. Now we shall record the entry. So third one, Chaya's account debit to purchase returns account. And what is the amount? So amount is 2,000 minus 200. 2,000 minus 200. So we'll get 1,800. And narration can be in your own words. So how to write the narration? Being goods returned to Chaya, being goods returned rupees 2,000 were recorded as rupees 200, now rectified. So you can write it as now rectified. So it means that we have corrected it now. Now moving on to the next one, that is fourth one, goods returned from Dina, rupees 4,000 were recorded as rupees 400. Again, it is error of commission. So they should have recorded it as rupees 4,000, but how much they have recorded? It is they have recorded it as, or they have wrongly recorded it as rupees 400. So what is the journal entry? Goods returned from Dina. So what is the journal entry? That is sales returns account debit to Dina's account. It means that we have already sold goods to Dina. Now she has returned it back. So sales returns account debit to Dina's account. And now how much will be the amount? That is 4,000 minus 400. So that is 3,600 will be the amount. Now, how to record this transaction? Goods returned from Dina. So, our entry is sales returns account debit to Dina's account. Fourth one, sales returns account debit to Dina's account. And the amount is how much? 3,600 in the debit side and 3,600 in the credit side. Now, how to write the narration? Being goods returned by Dina rupees. So, how much goods she has returned? 4,000. Recorded as rupees 400. Now rectified. So this is how we are going to solve the problem, and this was a problem relating to error of commission where they have wrongly entered the amount, but the journal entry was correct, but they have wrongly entered the amount. Now we shall move on to one more problem. So they have given 4 transactions and they have made some mistake. We shall see what type of mistakes they have made. Rectify the following errors. So the first transaction is credit sales to Bina rupees 18,000 were recorded as 18,200. So they should have recorded 18,000, but what they have done? They have recorded more than the amount, that is 18,200. Here what we have to do, they have recorded. So when they record less than the actual amount, our journal entry was a correct journal entry, but we used to write the difference amount, right? Here what they have done, they have recorded the transaction, they have recorded the amount more than the actual amount. That is, instead of recording 18,000, they have recorded 18,200. Now, how to rectify this type of error? So, this is also error of commission, right? So, this is also error of commission. Why it is error of commission? Because they have made mistakes while recording the amount, right? So, this is error of commission where they have recorded more than the actual amount. In this case, your journal entry will be reverse journal entry. Now, what is the correct journal entry for the first transaction? Credit sales to Bina. So, correct journal entry will be Bina's account debit to sales account will be the correct journal entry, right? But they have recorded more than the actual amount, so we are going to record reverse journal entry. So our journal entry will be sales account debit to Bina's account. So this is the rectifying entry. Sales account debit to Bina's account. Will reverse the entry, then how much will be the amount? Amount will be the difference amount, that is 18,200 minus 18,000. So your amount will be 200. Now we shall record this transaction, that is sales account debit to Bina's account 200. So the first one is sales account debit to Bina's account. Amount will be 200, that is difference amount. Being credit sale of rupees 18,000 recorded or wrongly recorded as rupees 18,200, now rectified. Rectified means now we have corrected. Clear? So this is the difference. Now if they have recorded less than the actual amount, then your journal entry will be the correct journal entry. You will write the difference amount. If they have recorded more than the actual amount, then your entry will be reverse entry. Then you will record the difference amount. Now moving on to the next one. It is second one, credit purchase from Prakash rupees 22,000 were recorded as 22,500. This is also error of commission. Now they should have been recorded rupees 22,000, but wrongly they have recorded it as 22,500. Now, what is the correct journal entry for this transaction? Credit purchase from Prakash. So, your correct journal entry will be purchases account debit to Prakash account. To Prakash account. So, this is the correct journal entry. Since they have recorded more than the actual amount, now we have to reduce that amount, right? Reduce to the extent of rupees 500. So, we will reverse that entry. So, your journal entry will be Prakash account debit to purchases account, and what would be the amount? That is 22,500 minus 22,000, that is 500 will be the amount. Now, we shall record this transaction. That is second one. Prakash account debit to purchases account. Now, what is the amount? That is 22,500 minus 22,000. So, amount is how much? 500. 500 in the debit side and 500 in the credit side. Now, how to write the narration? Being credit purchase of rupees 22,000 recorded as rupees 22,500, now rectified. So, this is the narration. Now, moving on to the next entry. That is third one, goods returned to Shweta, rupees 12,000 were recorded as 12,600. So, actual amount is 12,000, but they have wrongly entered it as rupees 12,600. Now, what is the journal entry? Goods returned to Shweta. So, correct journal entry is Shweta's account debit to purchase returns account. So, we had already purchased goods from Shweta. Now, we have returned it back. So, it means that purchase return. Now, correct journal entry is goods returned to Shweta. So, Shweta's account debit to purchase returns account. Now, since they have recorded more than the actual amount, so our entry will be a reverse entry. So, our entry should be purchase returns account debit to Shweta's account, and how much amount you will write? That is 600 each. So, how did we get this 600? 12,600 minus 12,000, so we will get 600. So, we will write the difference amount. So, our entry will be purchase returns account debit. Third one, purchase returns account debit to Shweta's account. To Shweta's account. And what is the narration? Being goods returned to Shweta. So, what is the amount? It is rupees 12,000. Rupees 12,000 recorded as rupees 12,600, now rectified. So, our difference amount is how much? 600 rupees. So, 600 in the debit side and 600 in the credit side. Now, moving on to the next transaction, that is fourth one, goods returned from Swati, that is rupees 4,000 were recorded as rupees 4,100. So, they should have been recorded rupees 4,000, but what they have done? They have recorded more than the actual amount, that is 4,100. So, they have recorded 1,000 in excess. So, they should have recorded 4,000, but wrongly they have recorded 4,100. In the sense, 100 they have recorded in excess. So, we have to minus that 100, right? So, what is the correct journal entry? That is goods returned from Swati. So, what is the correct journal entry? That is sales returns account debit to Swati's account. To Swati's account. So this is the correct journal entry, right? Now, since they have recorded more than the actual amount, so we have to minus that 100. So we have to record the inverse entry. So we have to debit Swati's account and credit sales returns account. And what is the amount? It is excess amount is how much? Rupees 100. That is 4,100 minus 4,000. So we shall record this transaction. It is fourth one, Swati's account debit to sales returns account. How much amount? That is 100. 4,100 minus 4,000, so we'll get 100. Now write the narration. Being goods returned rupees 4,100, rupees 4,000 recorded as rupees 4,100, now rectified. So this is the journal or a rectifying entry. My dear students, in today's session, we had solved a problem on rectification of errors. So, we had solved a problem where they have recorded more than the actual amount, less than the actual amount, and they have not at all recorded those transactions. It's nothing but error of omission and error of commission. In my next session, I'm going to continue with few more problems relating to rectification of errors. See you all in my next session. Till then, take care. Thank you.